G'day guys, my name's Josh. You can call me JaWoodle, and welcome back to 7 Days to Die in Alpha 18, where I've returned to JaWoodle Park 2 to build and test another base. But this time, it's something a little bit special. I'm going to try and build something to stand up against our new explosive friend, the Demolisher. I'm not really sure how I'm going to be able to do it. Normally my advice for Demolishers is just to shoot them in the head and hope for the best, but he is such a big threat, I felt like I needed to try my hand at it and see if I could build something that can handle specifically him. I just want to separate him from the crowd, kill him, leave the rest of the normal zombies for me to pick off as I feel necessary, but I need to build something anti-demolisher. So I'm going to go out there and build and test something, but before I can, I need to head down from the MVP tower back into the Hall of Legends to say thank you to 3 more awesome people for all of their wonderful support. And today I'm thanking Senjik, Ryan M, and Miguel CA for all of their support to go up on the wall amongst all the other people who've given me all their support too and made all of this possible. The Hall of Legends is very nearly full. It's going to be full up in the next couple of days, or next couple of episodes rather. Alright, where are we going to build this thing? There's a lot of flat ground out here. I think maybe just down the end here, maybe on the left. I keep having to expand the building area of this world, little by little, bit by bit, to find some extra area to build in, but this should be just enough for me for now. So the idea I'm going to be working from today has actually been sent to me a whole bunch of times by a whole bunch of different people, so I can't credit one particular person. It's been sent to me on Twitter and in comments and Instagram and everywhere, a whole bunch. So I feel like if that many people are suggesting this idea, then maybe it's got the best shot of actually working. And it relies on the fact that all these zombies are different sizes and therefore have different hitboxes. You can see that the biker, the Yeti zombie, and the Demolition are all the big bad boy types. Like also the cops and the fat Hawaiian as well are the big mumbo jumbos. So they're all the way up there. Their heads are standing a full foot taller than the regular zombies, who are then obviously very much clearly taller than the ones who are lower to the ground. So if I can get something that's specifically going to target the area of space that these zombies occupy that these ones don't, I should be able to make something that will be specific to those types. Now yes, it'll still probably kill the cops, which is not necessarily a bad thing, and the Yetis and the bikers, but more importantly, it'll kill this big bastard as well. So I've got all of these idiots I've got to build something to take care of. Get rid of this, like clean up all my mess over here. Don't want to infest this land with zombies any more than it already is. There we go. And to do that, I'm going to build something. I'm going to build a mechanism on top of a corridor. Corridors are easy and simple and they're reliable, so I can test what I need to. So the mechanism for killing I'm going to put up on top of this, but you don't necessarily have to build this into a corridor like I am now. There we go. Just knocked myself up a quick little cheeky corridor. It's nice and simple. It doesn't really take very long, and it's kind of soothing to me now. Whenever I see that kind of silhouette, that outline, it just feels like safety to me. A couple of archways and a big drop over here. That way I know that I'm safe from the zombies. But I've built myself a chunky corridor because I need it to be 3 wide. Because my first kind of thought, if I'm thinking about something that I want to make a specific area deadly to zombies, my first kind of thought for that is, not one of those ones actually, is to grab myself a blade trap and find a way to put that in that area that I need to protect. So like if I can mount maybe a blade trap up on the ceiling, up in that airspace where the zombies' heads are going to be, that should hopefully, I'm not sure how accurate the hitbox is going to be on the zombies, that should hit the demos and not the regular zombies nice and easily. So I need to get myself some more blocks, but I've got them just there. Let's grab these ones and let's build up a little higher. What's going to be the best way to do this? Let's see. So the center of it, they go 3 by 3. So that's a center bit there. That's a center bit there. How many blade tracks actually squeeze into this thing? I could fit 3 in and that's about it. Okay, that's right. I'll move them all down one little bit so they can line up with the pillars here. Although, oh, hang on. I haven't got my pillars in the right kind of order. That's okay, whatever. Maybe I'll just line up with the pillars instead and I'll just ignore how evenly spaced the blades are. So I wasn't going to be able to make this look right if I just built like little arches along here to hold up the blade traps. So instead I built like this little like kind of weird cage thing. It looks like it's straight out of the elephant graveyard. Simba and Nala will be tumbling through here followed by hyenas in no time. So if I have that like that, I could go through and just bang up some blade traps. I think that was the spot and that one and yep, that one there. And that should have, like that's kind of nice actually. It's kind of housing all of the blades. That looks pretty good. They look nice inside their little rib cage. That should hopefully do the trick. The only thing I'm worried about though is that is pretty high up there. That's a fair distance to cover to get their heads up in the chopping block. But I won't know if that's gonna work until like let's just get ourselves let's go a Yeti for now. Let's just try it with a Yeti. Oi, knackers, come up here and test this for me. I need to see what's gonna happen with your noggins and if it's actually gonna get up to where the blade's gonna do some damage. Get up the stairs. There you go. All right. Well, I'm starting to see a bit of an issue there. It doesn't look like he is actually connected to that at all. Let's quickly bang down a solar panel and get these things powered up and see if it's doing any damage. My first impression, though, is that's not going to collide with his scalp at even a little bit. There we go. Got all of my blade traps powered up with some nice, renewable, safe, and clean solar energy. Let's turn on his AI. Let's shoot the guns. Oh, before I do anything, actually, I forgot to do this. Turn on the blade traps. All right, there we go. Are you going to come in? You're going to wander down the purple brick road, and you're going to be absolutely okay. Alright, that is a little bit disappointing. I was really hoping for something better out of that. Maybe this... wait, hang on. Hang on. He's only like a little bit down from what the blade traps are. If I can probably... It's kind of like what I did with the water base, I think. So they were kind of cruising through the water here and taking the... Not really getting slowed down at all until I lowered the basement of, like the floor of by a little bit and made it instead of just 1 block of water, 1.5 blocks of water, and that was enough to trigger them. So I know the pathing is pretty much the same across half blocks, so maybe that's what I have to do here. Maybe I can just go stainless steel, grab myself some half blocks like that, and just bang them across like here. Will that prop him up enough that he's gonna hit his head on the blades? I don't know. I'm gonna turn it all off for a second. Turn you off, please. Turn it off and see what happens. Maybe I can prop him up enough that he's gonna just gonna get a very close shave haircut. He's just gonna go through with the old #1, right down, like a little bit of blood out of the scalp, but that'll be okay. Just enough damage to do a little bit. This corridor's really starting to get a bit chunky, isn't it? This corridor is now dummy thick with like 4 extra C's on the end of that. But if you look at it now, oh god, it's almost doing enough damage to... Can I get damaged by this? Is this going to hurt me as well? Turn on that. I don't know if it hurts me. It'll probably hurt the regular zombos as well. Let's quickly just get our empty hand. Oh, damn it. I thought for a second I sluck on through. Nah, it's doing a number on me and my lovely hairdo. Oh, okay. Well, I've built it now. We may as well test it. Let's get ourselves a zombie. Let's get ourselves also a Chelsea, because I want to see what happens. Let's go a feral Chelsea just to get her up there and running through before old matey potato Zombarino. Get their attention. Turn on their eye. All right, come on. Into the pit of death, please. Well, they go straight on through without really any issue. What about... Oh, look at that! That is hitting him square in the chops. That's more lamb chops than a bloody baby sheep. Oh, that's really good. I quite like you hitting my my wedge tips over here, though. I'm not sure I'm a big fan of that one. But the normal zombies are cruising through there, not any damage at all. But the bigger zombies are getting lit up. I really like that. Okay, maybe there's some potential here after all. Quickly do some repairs. Oh, it's forged steel for blade traps now. I thought it was forged iron. Forged steel. All right, take you. Repair that one. That's in fact, do we still need the mechanical parts? I'll throw them away. No, just need the forged steel. So... Oh, I'm not sure about that one. I'm not sure I'm a big fan of that. Like, repair costs for this are going to be pretty astronomical. That's why you want to keep them away from killing the regular zombies. You want to save this for when you really need it. So if you've got some cops or a demolisher or a yeti or whatever coming up, one of the big boys cruising up, you want this to only target them. Because if you waste all your blade traps, which is why I really like landmines, if you waste all your defenses on the regular nothing zombies, then when the big boys show up, you're going to have nothing to actually defend them against. That's why I'm trying to separate, like basically make a zombie class defense system. I only want to use the defenses against the big bad boys and not against the regular Muppets who are cruising around all the time. Let's also repair some of these while I'm here as well, because why not? Right, okay, so now we've repaired that. Let's test against what we're actually here to test against. Let's get ourselves a demo zombie. Let's get a couple, actually. Why not? Oi, bitch tits, get over here and test out my design for me. Let's turn the blade traps back on. There we go. Probably just like bang a switch or something onto that. Here we go. Up they come. Oh, look at all the sparks coming off them. I mean, they've got their super solid helmet. How much damage is that actually doing? All right, hang on. Everyone stop. They're down to what? Okay, you're getting absolutely missed. I'll stop you because you're ruining everything for me. So what? You came out of there with 700 health and you came out of there with 760. So it's going to take you, what, like 3 times to get through there before you'll actually die? Maybe the blade traps aren't the go then. I mean, these guys are pretty heavily armored and apparently their super thick helmets are protecting me against the super sharp blades. Maybe they're going to sharpen my blades or something. That's not really killing them as fast as I was hoping. You could combine this with maybe a water base or something like that. In fact, the water base would be hard because you have to drop them half a block. Oh, yeah, that would be really difficult, actually. Oh, actually, no, because it's already going half a block, I think a water base might actually be a good go of it because there's already, like, using that half block measurement. But it's really not sending them through and doing as much damage as I was hoping they would. Maybe the blade traps aren't the way to go with this. High repairs and low damage are not really a good combination. Before I move on from this design, because this isn't my favorite, I don't think this is going to be a viable option for me. So before I move on to the next one, I want to quickly run a couple more tests with the demolishers just to kind of get a baseline, get some figures that we could use. I'll put you there. Let's spread them out a little bit, just like that. So I get 3 demolishers out there to run through my little test trap over here, just to see how far they come out on the other side. Like, I've got 700, 760, but if I can like double check exactly how much health they're coming through with, I can compare that to the next one. All right, you're getting a lot of damage done. All right, there you go. You're finally heading towards the stairs now. So what are you gonna go the other side with? 766, so right about on the money. You got stopped for a second, which is a bit more. Oh, 712. So it really is about that 700 mark. So 300 damage, 100 damage per blade trap, and that's 700 on the nipples as well. So 100 damage per blade trap, 300 damage for the whole lot. That isn't really that much. Alright, well, it's a good baseline to work from though. So we're going to come up with another design that will do more damage. Maybe that will work better for us. The only other way I can kind of think about this, but it comes with its own sets of challenges, is to maybe get myself some dart traps, which is something that's been suggested in the comments a lot too, saying that dart traps are really good against demolishers. So if I take the advice of the people who I reckon probably know better than I do, there we go, get your face in the right way, and bang a bunch of Bart traps. Jeez, throw Bart Simpson maybe. He's got spiky hair, maybe it would penetrate the helmet, but get a couple of dart traps up above my head like that, looking straight down in that same area that the blade traps are in. So this kind of, this upper echelon here, this upper airspace is still like the death area. So hopefully it's going to work on the same system that the regular zombies could run underneath the darts, but the bigger boys will cop it square in the eye socket. That's what I'm kind of hoping for. So I'll get a couple of darts and actually load it up as well. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now this is where the next kind of challenge with this lies though, is with the dart traps, not the dart traps, the blade traps, I could just turn them on, let them spin like a helicopter blade on idle for as long as I wanted. There was no real issues there, but if I leave the dart traps on, then we're going to have the problem, we're going to run out of ammo by the time old matey potato explosive boy shows up to cause some issues. So I think I need to figure out a way to only get these idiots to turn on when I actually need them, because if they're on the whole time, I'm not going to have them when I need them. It's going to be a real bad news bears for your mate Joshy boy. How are we going to do this? Well, the first thing I need to do, I feel like this is too low. Did I build this too low? I feel like I need to test this against just like some regular zombies and make sure they're going to pass underneath. But I don't know how I'm going to get them to trigger just when I need them. That's going to be a challenge unto itself. I'll admit, it's a little bit claustrophobic under here. When you're standing under here, it's like all those Minecraft houses that only need to be 2 blocks tall, but then it feels like you're really like inside a closet and you really don't want to be there. So I feel like I'm banging my head on this every time I take a step. But I've got them there all wide up and full of darts. I've got a couple of mops over here ready to test it. So I've got 3 super fast, super nimble Chelseas to run through and make sure they're not getting clobbered in the eye socket by some sharp metal stakes. But I've also got Zombie Boy here, big old Yeti, to come through and hopefully cop a couple in the chin. So let's turn the AI on, get their attention. Let's actually turn on the dart traps. That'll probably be pretty helpful. There we go. Where did the Chelseas go? Oh, there they are. They're stuck behind Zombarino's Yeti man. Although, it looks like he's taking some damage. He's getting shot in the face, and Chelsea did not. Interesting. Come on. Oi, you bitch tits, get over here and test this out for me too. There we go, back on the little platform. 237, 237. So they're cruising through with no real issues, but you copped a fair bit of damage into you. Alright, okay, interesting. I like it. I like it so far. Oh, by the way, to get like their zombie stats in debug mode, you press numpad 0. That's how you get all those stats to kind of show up. So that's kind of good. That's proving my point that he is getting shot in the grills, but Chelsea is not. This might have some potential if I can get it to only turn on when I need it. In fact, why aren't you turning on? Lock ammo. Is that better? There we go. Now we've got 3 firing. My big issue here is just trying to think about how I'm going to slow down the demolishers. Because like even in the daytime, they're still stumbling along at a reasonable pace. But come nighttime, they're barreling along at a rate of knots. They're going to come in here and not be in the actual like killing area long enough for the dart traps to do like. Dart traps are good, and I'm hoping they're going to be armor piercing or to see if they're better than the blade traps were. But both of them have the problem of just not being actually in contact with the demolishers long enough to do enough damage. So I'm going to just test this out a little bit more. gonna get a 1-for-1 comparison between the blade traps and the dart traps, and then see if we can work on slowing down the zombies to get more damage done to the demolishers, because the longer they spend around other zombies, the greater chance there is that one of the other mups will punch their button, and then you're in some serious strife, because other zombies can set off demolishers. If that happens, that's bad news bears. So let's get a couple of demos out there and just see if I can type properly with my fat freaking fingers. Hit a dialing wand, need to mash the keypad with my fist. Get a couple of demolishers out there, get their attention, get them coming over here, turn the AI on. Alright, now let's turn on the dart traps and see what happens now. So 700 on average is the number to beat, and I want to see what they come out the other side with. So far, not really so good. 728, oh wow. Although he got aggro and started going a little bit faster, which was interesting. So did he. I want to get like a nice clean comparison. Can you all just like calm the farm, chill your tits, put your nipples on ice, damn it, for like 2 seconds. Just let me see what you're going to come out the other end of the neck of the woods with. Nah, he just doesn't want to do it. He gets shot in the face and he gets pretty mad about it. He's going to go and destroy the pond I'm standing on for a second. That's pretty disappointing. I had some pretty high hopes for the dart traps. I thought it was going to be pretty good. Turns out it was donuts. Ah, damn. So the blade trap is the better one, which removes the issue I had where I needed to get the dart traps to only turn on when I needed them. But now that I've got this set up, I want to see if I can actually give that a crack. So maybe something like a tripwire. Now, I haven't really used tripwires before because I never really needed to. I've used motion sensors instead, but you can't set a motion sensor to only trigger when they see like a demolisher or a copper site, which would be pretty useful. If you could turn things on when specific zombies showed up, if there was a way to code that into the motion sensors, that would be the bee's nipples. That would be wonderful. That would go together with these bases like dead horse on a bunning stag, but you can't really do that. So instead, maybe, oh, that might actually be the go. If I just get, maybe like down here, if I get a tripwire, right, and I bang it just across that like that and connect that to the dart traps, then maybe I can get like, just like their heads will go through, their big old foreheads will hit that tripwire post, to the tripwire wire rather, I suppose, or just tripwire. Don't really just go wire, do ya? So if you can hit that with your forehead, maybe that will turn on the dart traps and it will be pretty good to go. What's in here? A bunch of random, ooh, a hazmat mask. I didn't know you could get those anymore. That's interesting. I thought they were gone. I'm pretty happy they're back though. A full hazmat suit. I want a full hazmat suit. I love when I discover something new by accident. Okay, there we go. So I have the tripwire there. But the question's going to be, does like their heads count as a hitbox? Does it count as a hitbox for the wires as well? So here's how I'm going to test it. I've got tripwires on each of the posts that are connected to these lights. And each of the lights will stay on for 3 seconds if they are triggered. For example, like that. So tripwire gets hit, light turns on, so when an old Muppet is cruising through my little ribcage over here, hopefully I'll be able to see when he goes through each of the tripwires because all the lights will turn on. That's my plan anyway. Let's get his attention, let's turn his AI on, I can turn his stats off. I just want to know if his hitbox will trigger those wires. Nothing on the first one, nothing on the second one, and nothing on the... damn it. I thought that was going to be the go. I really did. Alright, well, I'll move them down 1, but I feel like I'll move them down 1, then regular zombies will trigger it as well. We have to try it, though. We have to know for sure. Where is he? He's just on the stairs over there. Okay, you wait there for 2 seconds, buddy. I just need to quickly do some rewiring. Yeah, now look at how low these wires are now. Before, they were, like, right on the nipples. It was right where they needed to be. A couple of loose hair strands would have set him off, but he didn't want a bar of it. And now it's definitely way, way too low. But let's test it out anyway. Get his attention. Make sure he's coming through. Yep, first one's on. Second one will turn on, and okay, nice and easy. So definitely working like that, but we don't need to test the demolisher anymore. Let's see if a regular zombie will set that off as well. So just get one Chelsea out there. Come on up the stairs, please, love. Come and just press all my buttons. Yeah, and she hits all of them as well. See, that's the problem with the dart traps. I don't want to be wasting all the ammo, and I also don't want to be murdering, like, wasting all the darts on the regular Muppets. That's really not going to work out as well. And it does less damage than the blade traps. So blade traps might be the way to go. We just need a way to keep the zombies inside the blades for longer. So I'm thinking of something like this water base, right? So the water base inside it, how actually tall is it? So 1 block down the bottom, 2, 3. So if I put up some blade traps, like just on this top area here. Now normally I don't retrofit old bases, I leave them as they were. But since I already have this one here, and I don't want to have to like rebuild it again, and plus I'm not doing too much like permanent damage, so I can get rid of the dart traps later. If I just bang a couple of dart traps where like these lights are, like the block below, I reckon that might actually be an alright shout. So if I put you, for example, Oh, even just like that. If I just put you like there in the middle, if I get the right spot, please, for goodness sake, go where I want you. There we go, just like that. Now that should hopefully be the same as before. It's just hard to tell because all the water's here. Oh, I think it actually might be. All right, let's just quickly test that out. Let's get ourselves a cheerleader. Let's also get ourselves a demolisher. Actually, let's go demolisher, because if he gets annoyed and explodes, then I've lost all of this. Let's not do that one. Let's push you off the top. Okay. Now, if you guys run towards me, please, how is that going to go? Yep, you're going to get nailed, but Chelsea, I think, is going to slide underneath. I think this might be a goer. The nice thing is that I've already got all of the power here wired up for the lights and stuff that were inside, so I can just kind of daisy chain it off that one, get all you nice and connected, and get on over here. The other thing as well, this is longer than the last one. I didn't really mean it that way, but this one has 4 blade traps all nestled up against each other, all nice and evenly like that, so you got more time in blades to start with, plus we're slowing them down with the water, and I reckon that might be the best thing to happen to this. Let's give that a crack. So 700 is the number to beat. Let's get demo going. Let's get you out there. And before I actually get you annoyed at me though, let's go over here and turn all of this on. You are on, you just run out of battery. Alright, well that's why you gotta use solar sometimes. You gotta use your renewable, lovely, sunny energy if you want anything to actually run for you for more than 5 minutes. I've left this on since I built it. There we go, let's get some tier 6 solar cells. Let's get everything up here nice and recharged. Let's use something that isn't gonna harm the planet any more than the zombies already are. Solar, renewable is important. There we go, the lights are on, the blades are spinning. We are all good to rock and roll. So, old matey potato down there, if you wouldn't mind coming up and testing this out for me, I'd very much appreciate it. So you're starting with 1,000 health. I need you to drop down below 700. I mean, you should, we will anyway. I was shooting about 600 because we calculated that it was 100 damage per blade trap. If you come out of here with less than 600, then I know that this has actually worked. Oh, you are getting absolutely rinsed on that first one too. You're already down below 600. You're not even to the end yet. You might, oh, you almost died on the first wicket. You almost lost your stumps. You almost lost the topper off in 3 bloody seconds. That's pretty good. Although you need to stop destroying my base down there though. That wasn't part of the deal. That wasn't what I asked you to do, you big bald fuck. I think from memory he came out of that with like just under 500 health, I think. So I killed him before I actually had a chance to look because I'm an idiot. So let's get him going again and see what he comes out with. So less than 500 would be a pretty good shout. Oi, knackers, get over here please, or I'll send you off to the glue factory, off to the actual knackery. Send the knacker to a knackery. That'd be an interesting thing, wouldn't it? All right, come on down here please. You get real minced up on the first one, which I like. Now, the water base only slows them down a little bit. It's not as slow as the barbed wire, but you can't put the barbed wire in because you're relying, oh, that was only 600. So the water hasn't really done anything there, hasn't kept them in the blades for longer than anything normally would. But you can't put the barbed wire in because you need that half a block to get it to work properly. Without it, they just don't hit the thing. In fact, while you're running around like a goose, let's also get some cheerleaders out there just to double check everything. A couple of you. There we go. What are you doing, demo man? Not running up the stairs anymore. So Chelsea should pass underneath this without any issues at all. And she is. And she's going, I mean, a little bit slower than normal. But the demos and the big boys do get hits. That's the best kind of anti-demolisher defense. Uh-oh. I didn't kill him in time when he broke my base. He broke my freaking base. This is why you don't go back to old bases, Josh, because now you have to freaking fix this to get it how it was. Oh, wow. I didn't know that. I didn't know blade traps can set off his freaking button. Did you know that? No one told me that. Oh, that's annoying. That's so fucking annoying. Oh, I spent all that time building the freaking water base. Now I have to build it all again because one stupid Splody boy got his nipples touched. Fuck off, you blade trappy fuck. God damn it. Oh, he did so much damage as well. That's so much I gotta fix now. Oh, that's so frustrating. Well, now I need to test though, before I mean, I'll come back and fix this later, I suppose. But now I need to know, given that blade traps can apparently press his buttons, the blade traps can find his G-spot, can the dart traps find his G-spot? Can he explode in a wave of pleasure from a dart trap like he did with the blade trap? I don't know how I'm going to test that though. I suppose I could just get some dart traps, just line up a bunch of demolishers and just keep shooting demolishers until one of them hopefully or maybe doesn't explode. I'm not sure how many it's going to take though before I see a result, because that was, I mean, I sent a lot of demolishers down through blades before just now and none of them had their nipples touched, and now apparently they have. Oh, damn. Alright, we need to test this somewhere. I'm so annoyed about that. So I've left JaWoodle Park proper and come out to the outskirts over by the factories because this is where like kind of the more destructive of my tests get done. So I've got the remnants of an old force field test lying here, which I'm going to use in this instance just to keep a demolisher in the middle. In fact, I don't really need to turn his AI on at all, do I? Let's get some concrete like this and let's just build up to hit him square in the chops. In fact, I might even need to just quickly get rid of him like that. What did you drop for me this time? Something worthwhile. Some NVGs, which are worth not as much as I used to think they were. I'm completely full of gubbins as well. All right, here, hold that, and hold this. Hold all of this, please. There you go. You go in there, you go in there. I just need to get rid of all of the gubbins I'm holding, just like that, and we can start all over again. Because what I need is I need to get a half block and put it underneath him to put him up onto the same level as he'd be in any of those tests before. So it's just hitting him square in the head. That's where the blade trap was supposed to be hitting him. So that's why I need to make the dart trap hit him, just to make sure it's an even and like actual useful test. So we need to go up a little bit more as well. Let's get another just kind of regular square block up to about there. In fact, no, that's where the dart trap needs to be. There we go. All right, we're on track now. Alright, so now I guess we just turn this on and just see how long it takes the old matey potato over there to explode. Although it's not even hitting him right now. Why aren't you being hit? You should be getting hit. That's the right spot. Can I like push you a little bit closer into it? Is that better? I don't understand what the problem here is. This is how it was working before. Oh, there we go. We finally got hit. Okay, I just need to get him right in the right spot. Okay, you just stand there and cop a couple shots to the face. And I guess at some point we'll find out whether or not you're going to explode on it. So this is the third demolisher that I've put on the pedestal here because they slowly die. In fact, he's almost dead too. They slowly die for getting shot in the face over and over and over again. But something interesting that I just kind of really noticed, I don't use dart traps very much, is that dart traps only take from one stack at a time. I actually thought he was dead. I actually thought that they would take like one from each pile, like so 3 at a time. Given that they have 5 slots on the front, I thought if you stacked them all like that, it would fire 3 at a time. And put some more rounds down range. My lungs just stopped working there for a second. So I don't know, maybe there's a way you can like wire these up to fire all 5, because I feel like that'd give you a better spread. That would be like a good upgrade for dart traps, maybe able to fire out of more holes at the same time. But now on my 4th demolisher, we're still not really getting anywhere. We're about to be our 5th demolisher. No buttons have been pressed yet. No one is twisting anybody's nipples. The darts are passing straight over the button. I mean, I think that was the last one too. Yep, that was the last of the darts in the dart traps. I'm going to turn you off now. So all of the demolishers I tested there, it was probably like 6 or 7, maybe 8. I kind of lost track. I just kept respawning them until I went through all 1,500 darts in the dart trap. So all of them got tested and no one had their button pushed. So I mean, you kind of got to weigh it up, you know? Like, the dart traps aren't nearly as effective as the blade traps, but the blade traps are going to potentially one day set off a demolisher. So you kind of got to weigh it up. Are you going to be quick enough on the draw to kill the demolisher before he explodes? I wasn't. I was too busy thinking, like, if I turned off his AI, I'd stop him exploding rather than shooting him with the goddamn gun that I was currently holding and pointing at him. So that was my bad. I probably should have handled that a little bit better. But kind of what I'm learning from this is what I kind of thought before. There's no foolproof anti-demolisher base that you can build. Like, you can build stuff designed specifically to target the bigger guys and therefore the demolishers, like these 2 things I showed you here. But nothing is going to be a foolproof design. There's nothing out there that's going to kill them every time, easy peasy, jap and squeezy, without any sort of risk to yourself. You can go higher damage with a higher risk of them exploding. You can go lower damage and lower strike rate, but they're still going to be running around and they're going to be alive long enough, potentially, for a regular zombie to touch his button, to squeeze his nipples and get him to explode. So, I mean, there's no real way to guarantee safety with these things, which I guess is kind of what the Fun Pimp Dev wanted to have with the Demolisher. That's what they wanted when they brought this in. So, fair play to them, they've achieved that. But I still think the best way to combat a Demolisher is just when you see him, shoot him with some armor-piercing rounds. He dies very, very quickly if you have some AP ammo. Have 2 guns. Have your shotgun or an SMG or a pistol or a bow or a melee club just for the regular zombies. And when a demo shows up, whip out your armor-piercing rounds in whatever gun. A dedicated armor-piercing gun is the way to go. Shoot him a couple of times in the face, he will die. Then you go back to killing the regular zombies however you see fit. That, in my opinion, is the best way to handle demolishers. Bases won't do it. You just got to get out there, get your hands bloody, and kill him yourself for a change. But I had to test it. I had to try it. You guys have been asking me non-stop to give it a crack and all your different ideas. So thank you to everyone for reaching out and like suggesting things and asking for things and whatnot. The community engagement of this channel is out of its freaking mind. I can't believe how awesome the community is that sprung up around JaWoodle. I'm very lucky to be a part of all of it. But I'll have to come back and do some more things and try some more things in another episode, because this episode, if my voice stays semitones lower, is done. So thank you guys for watching. Most of all, thank you to all the patrons on Patreon who made this episode possible. If you liked it, make sure you hit the like button down below and subscribe to this channel. Follow me on Twitter. If I don't talk to you there first, I'll see you in the next episode. Have a good one.